good to see that Joe Biden is going to tap. The word is he's going to tap Ron Klain as his possible chief of staff. Ron, if you remember, Ron was his chief of staff, of course, back when he was vice president, and he's the one who told us that, we did the best we can, but it's pure fortuity that we didn't kill tens of millions of people because we're a bunch of nice people and we screwed everything up in the H1N1. So it's good to see Joe's going back to the well. In not so promising news, if he was to become president, I think some things are starting to leak out about what he's going to look to do right away. And welcome to American Citizen. President Trump was America First.
Yep.
This is American Citizen Last, as I'm coining it, as I coined it on Twitter.
I heard Dick Cheney wants to be his Secretary of Defense.
I have not heard that. President-elect Biden, here's what I have heard, though, is set to start reversing President Trump's immigration legacy. The Biden team is planning to fully restore DACA, number one, enact a 100-day freeze on deportations, number two, limit ICE arrests, number three, overturn green card restrictions, and much more. Mr. Biden will look to implement the 100-day deportations moratorium while his administration issues guidance narrowing who can be arrested and deported by ICE. A source familiar with Mr. Biden's plan said new guidance would be designed to curb so-called collateral arrests. Mr. Biden intends to end the Remain in Mexico border policy, but it remains unclear whether asylum seekers will be allowed in. I'll answer that for them. Yes, they will. Yeah. A source familiar with Mr. Biden's plans said the incoming administration will void all the deals that allow the U.S. to reroute asylum seekers to Central America. The incoming Biden administration will also look at reinstating an Obama-era program, that allowed at-risk children in Central America to request refugee or parole status and reunite with their parents in the U.S., per a source familiar with the plans. Mr. Trump ended that program in 2017. Other changes Biden's team intends to make: scrap the public charge rules for green cards and visas, end the travel ban restrictions on 13 countries, most of which are African or majority Muslim, review Trump's efforts to end TPS deportation protections for 300,000 immigrants. The Biden team is planning to ramp up refugee admissions, which Mr. Trump slashed to 15,000, a record low. The incoming administration plans on setting it at 125,000. Mr. Biden has also vowed to grant certain Venezuelans in the U.S. TPS to shield them from deportation. So that's just a little bit of the beginning of the new, if it is to be, new administration's plans on making the American citizen last. So that's what you can look forward to there. And that's from an article that was on CBS today.
What could go wrong?
More out there about Joe Biden going back to Ron Klain to be his White House chief of staff and assistant to the president. So, yeah. So that's just the start of what the Biden administration is planning on doing. So